Hi, Tora here. Now, being my first video, I just want to say that if anyone does indeed watch this, thank you for clicking on my video. Anyways, on to the main topic. This is something that I needed to let out, because it's just been festering in my mind for a year now. So, I dated this guy for about 5 years. Don't know why, but, at first when I was dating him it was nice, because, well, I was the one who asked him out. And for the first 3 years, it was nice. I was going to church with him, he and I would have a great time. But then, one night, as we were driving to his church, he took a little detour that went to this area beside the road, and, he parked the car onto the grass, and he said, "Hey, do you want to have sex?" Now, I was a virgin at this point. And I said, "But I'm a virgin." And then he looked at me and said, "Well, I'm a virgin too, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get married in the future." Look where that got me. Anyways, so it took a lot of convincing, but I finally consented to the sex. That was the only time he waited for an answer when it came to sex. Because after that night, he would ask me for sex on every date that we went on. Now, with me, I will not consent for sex unless I am in an intimate relationship with you. That means boyfriend and girlfriend and not friends with benefits, because I'm not a fan of that. And if you have protection. No protection, no sex. Because, let's face it, not ready to be a mom yet. Now, he would always assume that I wanted the sex, so he would buy a box of condoms on the date and say, "Hey, wanna have sex?" And before I could even sputter out an answer, he would push me down and start making out with me, assuming that it was a yes. And my little dumb butt was so overwhelmed with lust and pleasure that I just went along with it. Sometimes I did want it, but other times, it was just rape. It was going like this for the next couple of years. And then, the fateful day, a week after we graduated, we were on a date. I was supposed to get my tassel, because my dad wanted me to get my tassel, because someone took my hat. And he stopped the car, and he said, "So what do you want to do? You want to have fun?" Which was his way of, do you want to have sex? Or do you want to go get your tassel first? And I saw him starting to inch towards me, and I went, "Let's get my tassel first. Because that's really important to me." He gave me a really, really upset look, like you weren't supposed to say anything. And he said, "Fine." and we drove to get the tassel, but the school was already closed for the summer, so I started to walk back to the car, and he had this kind of hopeful look and said, "So, sex?" And before he could get out of his car to grab me, I said, "No, just drive me home." And he had that look again and said, "Fine." And he drove me home. And then he and I had an argument about what had happened. And it was that night. So it must have really bothered him that I said no. And then he insulted my mom, which is a huge thing for me, because she died when I was young, and she was my only friend at the time, because I just pushed everyone else away. So I shouted at him, and I didn't talk to him for 3 days. And then he called me and said, "It just seems like you don't care anymore. I'm breaking up with you." I was torn to shreds on the inside. And I started dating a guy 2 weeks later because I wanted to get over the guy I'd been dating for 5 years. And now, a year later, almost a year, I guess, he is now doing the same thing to my friend, because he asked her out, and she, despite my advice, said yes. And on the first date, he tried to force her to have sex with him. On the first date, which is a big no-no when it comes to dating. So I just have a message that I would like to send out into the world, because I know one day one of them is going to be watching this. To my friend who is now dating him, he forced me to have sex with him on every date. This is your future if you don't leave him now. If you don't find someone who is better than him, who actually deserves you. And to that demonic spawn who did this to me for 2 years, wait until she gives you an answer. Don't just assume that she's going to want it on every date. And to everyone else out there who might watch this, ask for consent and wait for their answer. Don't just assume. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you can kind of relate to this and, well, just, in a way, find the courage to leave that bad situation. I should have left that guy long ago, but instead he broke me. Don't let anyone break you the same way that demonic spawn broke me. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Ciao, ciao!